Live from Los Angeles, California, this is The Lisa Murray Show. And with your host, Lisa Murray.
The day I felt like I really started living.
I don't have enough money to start this business.
I'm so tired. I hate it. I'm working all the time.
I'm not inspired when I'm worried about money.
Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all.
I'm so sick of all these positive people talking about dreams. What about money? Like, how am I supposed to get the money?
What it's really about, it's about you pursuing what makes you come alive. It's about continually connecting with that energy and just keep doing that. Keep going towards that. That's what it's about. I need to give up. There's too many obstacles. I can't take this shit anymore. Ships are safe in the harbor, but that's not what ships are built for.
It feels really good to be my own boss.
I have dreams, damn it! Do you have a dream? Are you pursuing your dream? Or are you already living your dream? Are you a creative entrepreneur? Are you an artist, a songwriter, a painter, a dancer, an actor, a business owner? My name is Lisa Murray, and I'm the host of this new podcast, I Have Dreams Dammit, a podcast about the realities of pursuing dreams. I am a filmmaker, storyteller, creative entrepreneur. Some people know me from blog TV days or my YouTube channel. I was a blogger on YouTube, and I actually started my YouTube channel to blog about the realities of pursuing my dreams. I've been pursuing being a full-time filmmaker since then and before then, really. And at the time I was working at a film studio, and I loved that job. I loved the people that I worked with. It was like amazing. I got to drive onto a Hollywood lot every day for work, and I had this amazing group of people that I worked with. But it wasn't my dream. It was like there was always something inside of me screaming at me, I have dreams, damn it! Like, And it would drive me nuts because I thought, God, I mean, why can't I just be happy here? I mean, this is like the absolute best possible job I could get. I mean, it was great perks, it was great everything, but it just wasn't the thing that's in my heart, this thing that I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where it came from. I don't even understand it, but it's like a calling for me. And you'll see, because I'm going to talk to a bunch of people who are pursuing their dreams and who are living their dreams, creative entrepreneurs and artists, and not everybody sees it the way I see it. I see it, for me, my thing has felt like a calling. It feels like something that I cannot escape, and I have tried. And I even gave up on all of this stuff for a few years, and it just sort of came back to me. It's like it never left. And I know that it's what I'm meant to do, and I know that this is my path. I don't know how I know it, I just know that I know it. And if you're talking to a person that doesn't have that, it's kind of clear. You go, okay, I know that I have something. Ships are safe in the harbor, but that's not what ships were built for. If you're pursuing a dream, or you want to pursue a dream, this is the podcast for you. I am going to talk to you about my experiences working at a film studio, pursuing a career in filmmaking, and working in the music industry. And I'm going to interview my friends, songwriters, artists, painters, dancers, actors, and creative business owners. And I'm going to get their answers to all the questions you guys have for them. Like, how did they get started? How did they get through their dark days? How did they know how much to charge? How did they make the leap? How did they go from having it be a side thing to the actual thing? All those kinds of things that I was desperately looking for, those kinds of answers when I was starting out, I'm going to ask them. And I'm going to share that with you because I really seriously think that's the best possible way for you to make this dream real. Because it is, there's not enough role models that really show us the exact journey. And so it does feel very like unobtainable. It feels like, oh my God, I want to start this restaurant, but it feels completely loopy and crazy because usually by the time you read about someone's success, they're already successful. And it's like a little bit like childbirth. They've kind of forgotten it a little bit. And you're like, but weren't you afraid? And it seems like for me, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times when people are successful, the way that they talk about their hard times, it's almost like they romanticize it. Like they're like, not everybody, but they'll be like, oh, we lived in the car. Remember when we lived in the car? Oh my God, it was great. And I'm always like, wait, what do you mean? Because I'm living in my car right now. I need to know what you mean by that. Like, what happened next? Okay, you're in your car, and then what? So I kind of come from more of that place. Like, I really want to know the real deal of like, how did you stay motivated? Because like for instance, if I don't get enough sleep, I fall apart. I'm not coming from a deep place. I'm not feeling like pursuing anything except for just sleep and to get away from people. So even something as small as that, something as practical as that, but it's so not small. Sleep is not small. And I have massive problems with insomnia, and it's like a lifelong thing. So if I don't sleep and it's been an extended period of time, it's a problem. The reason why I wanted to start this podcast is because I wanted to give back, because I know what helped me all along is listening to other people, listening to other podcasts, listening to interviews, reading books. I do a lot of road trips, and so I love audiobooks. And then I have my podcasts that I listen to, my go-to podcasts. And that has helped keep me on track for my dreams. It also helps me feel like I'm not crazy, because so much of this is like, you just feel like you're crazy. Like, what is this thing that I am pursuing? Why do I feel drawn to this? Like, more than anything, it feels more real to me than all the other stuff that I do. And everyone always says, oh, you're so good at this or you're so good at that, but that's great, but that's not what makes my heart happy. And so I always have to kind of step away from what seems to make sense to other people or even to me on the surface to listen to that other voice that's inside of me. The one that speaks to me in sort of this, it's silent, but it's there's a pulse to it. There's a pushing forward feeling to it. And when I don't listen to it, I start to get sick. I have physical ailments that happen, or just things happen. And also, I have really powerful dreams at night. And so if I'm not on the path, things start to go a little wonky. Then if I'm on the path, I can kind of tell, because there's like little things that I call breadcrumbs. Little moments that happen that is like serendipity. And I think, I'm meant to be here. This is it. And it's like the universe's way of saying, yep, you're on the right path. Keep going. Okay, but that doesn't mean, and I want to make sure in this podcast, and this is the part of it that's damn it, because there's a little bit of angst involved in this. Just because the universe provides these breadcrumbs does not mean that this journey is without massive problems, pitfalls, setbacks, everything. Because those problems, setbacks, pitfalls, all that stuff are designed to make us a better person. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless the roots reach down to hell. Carl Jung. I lost some people that were important to me, and their deaths, I can't put that in a place that says, oh, everything happens for a reason, and put a big bow on it. It's brought me to a quieter place, a deeper place, and it almost killed me to lose them. I really feel like I experienced a death in myself, a death to the part of me that had dreams, a death to my own optimism and all that kind of stuff. And it got very dark. And I really didn't even want to live anymore at all for a couple years. And little by little, I just started dreaming again. It just started to come back to me. And one of the things I was very adamant about at the time was I don't want to heal from this and then use their deaths as some kind of thing that I say, oh, but then I'm a better person today, because I was pissed that they died. And I did not want to use this in any way. And I still don't. And the reason why, and everybody has a right to do whatever they need to do to survive their own lives and their own, experiences and what happens. But for me, losing them will not make sense to me until I die. And if I have a life review, if the near-death experience people are right, and when we go over there, we have a life review, the universe, God, whatever, will explain to me, okay, so here's what happened. This was the grand plan. This is what you were supposed to learn. Then great. When I see them and when I'm reunited with them and then all of this stuff makes sense again, that's when I'll go, okay, I get it. I know why. I remember now. I remember why this was supposed to happen. We're going to have a lot of fun on this podcast because we're going to talk to so many interesting people. But one of the things, too, that I really want to talk about and that I have to talk about that's like the elephant in the room in my life is loss, death, burnout. I have to talk about that. And I don't really hear a lot of the creative entrepreneur podcasts talking about this. And probably I get it because it's not sexy. It's like, hey, follow your dreams and then you'll deal with loss. But I lost some very important people in my life. And it really did almost wipe me off, this whole entire thing. I didn't want to live. And it didn't make me, I didn't want to be creative anymore. I didn't want to do any of this stuff. And I found my way back. I healed and I've learned some things I really, really want to share with you. And if you are dealing with a loss, the thing is, we're all going to lose somebody in our lives at some point. Somebody that's really important to us, we're going to lose them. And that will affect our dream. It'll change the way you feel about your dream. It'll either make you more committed or it may make you resent your dream. Like in some ways, I kind of resented my dream because I felt like I didn't spend as much time with my family as I wanted to. And one of the people that I lost was my brother. And I did try to spend time with him. And I wasn't like completely just not there, but I could have been more there. And it really bothered me right when he died. I just felt this feeling of like, oh God, I can't stand this dream because it's consuming. When you're going for your dreams, you have got to give it your all. It is, especially in the entertainment industry, it's extremely competitive. You can't just whimsically show up when you feel like showing up. It's constant. There's 10 people right outside your door, 1,000 people that are willing to do what you're doing for free. And you're just trying to get $5, And so it's like all my friends, everybody that I know that works in the industry says the same thing. That's something that's very, very hard about it because it's hard to take time off because if you take time off, someone's going to steal your spot. It's true. It's real. It happens. And that's why a lot of people in the entertainment industry or at the high levels of business, why they burn out because they are stuck in that. They're like, I cannot take time off. I cannot take that break. And the downside of all that is that, you alienate yourself from your family and your friends. You miss out on so many things and you burn out. So I was already kind of burning out right before, actually, it was my closest friend, Derek, that died. And it was violent. And I'll get into that in another podcast, but that is what really kind of altered my life. Boom. Then 12 months later, I made a documentary called Soul Providers. And that I felt guided to do that. It was an artistic thing. I wasn't thinking about where it would live. I just needed to make it. And right after I had finished shooting the 10th subject, so there was 10 subjects in a feature film, 10 artists in LA. And right when I finished filming the 10th artist, I was importing the footage. My brother died unexpectedly. And the way that I explained it to people at the time was Derek and Michael were two huge Jenga pieces. Do you know the game Jenga? It's the puzzle that's vertical and you want to pull a piece out but not have the whole thing topple down. Derek made it almost completely topple down, but Michael made the entire thing topple down. The Jenga tower of Lisa Murray was in a bunch of pieces all over the ground, all over the place. And I didn't really want to put them back together, which was scary to feel that way. And I'm sure the people around me kind of were like thrown off. And that lasted for a few years. But then I little by little kind of wanted to and put the pieces back together, but I didn't want to do anything that took too much effort. I was tired of putting effort into the world. So the universe spoke to me through nature and through friends and through dreams. And I started writing more and journaling, and I found my way back, and I have healed, and I have a lot of things that I've learned from this whole thing and that I continue to learn. I want to keep learning until the day I'm not here anymore. I never want to get to the point where I think I know it all, because honestly, and the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. And I want it to stay that way. I want to stay curious, and I want to stay like, I don't know. I don't know what the deal with death is. I don't know why they had to die. I really don't. And that is something that really bothers me. And so one of the things that I really got deep into researching and looking at is near-death experiences and people who have, crossed over and come back. So I'm going to incorporate some of that and some interviews with that into this podcast as well. So if you're interested in that, then stay tuned, because I am going to explore that and bring some of that to you, because, a lot of people, we're creative entrepreneurs, we're artists, we're pursuing our dreams. We know that there's an unseen force that's at work. We know there's an unseen force all around us helping us. And you don't have to be religious and to know what that is, to feel it and to know that there's something. Because it's really like the art comes through us. It barely feels like it's us. It's like we're more like channels. And then we just learn the craft enough to be able to channel it most effectively. A painter with this brush strokes, a photographer with the use of light. And, it's not so far-fetched to connect loss and the afterlife and those unseen forces in a podcast about pursuing your dreams. Because many of my ideas have come to me through actual dreams at night. And then what is that? What is that? What is that? I've met people because of dreams I've had at night. So there's dreams that you pursue in life, and then there's a dream that you have at night. Just like in The Alchemist, Santiago has the dream about the pyramids. And if you remember, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing he was going towards. And if you haven't read the book, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but go read the book, okay? It's almost like if a podcast can have textbooks, I'm going to be telling you which books to get, okay? So I'm going to tell you right now, The Alchemist by Paulo Coehlo. That's a textbook for this for this podcast. I love that book. And the audiobook, which is narrated by Jeremy Irons. Oh, so good. The other textbook for this is, I really like Chris Vogler's The Writer's Journey. And he breaks down popular movies and how the hero's journey sort of is applied to that, into the screenplays and of like Star Wars and Romancing the Stone and other films. And he was a story consultant for The Lion King, for Disney. And so it's just an interesting thing, because our lives are a story. So we're going to take a deep look at that. That's something we're really going to look at and examine. If a particular episode really speaks to you, I will have all of the show notes for that particular show on the IHaveDreamsDammit.com website. So be sure to check it out. At the end of each show, I'll let you know what number that episode is, and you can just look it up that way. Go to the website, download documents, go to links, and all that kind of stuff. And so my intention with this podcast is to hopefully give back to you. Wherever you're at in the path, whether you are a full-time, full pro in everything that you're doing, and this podcast just serves to keep you on track and entertain you and remind you of things and all of that, or maybe you're just beginning and you're thinking, what did I get myself into? Why did I move to New York? Why am I doing all these things? Okay, so then this is for you also. Or if you haven't started yet, but you have this feeling, you've always had this feeling about something you're supposed to do. I don't care how old you are. You could be 14 or 44 or 74. It doesn't matter. If you've always had a feeling and you're thinking about jumping, you're thinking about taking that journey, then this podcast is definitely for you, because I'm going to talk to all kinds of people about their journey themselves, their pursuit. How do they get through their dark days? How do they know what jobs to take? Do they work in their industry in a junior position, or do they stay far away from their industry for money until they can jump off? Do you know what I mean? Like an illustrator working at an illustration place, but as a junior illustrator, or maybe illustrating for some horrible company, but then you do your own stuff at night. Should you do that? Or should you just work like as a security guard somewhere and then do your illustrations at night? People have different reasons for why they would do one or the other, and that's just interesting to explore. There's a lot of things. There's very practical things that you can do on this path. And I hope to bring those to you through my interviews and through my own just talking to you about things I've learned from working in the film industry and working in music industry. And I'm also just going to interview people about their journeys, about their creative journeys and their journeys through the business. How do you do this as a full-time job? Like, how do you not, because one of the things that really drove me crazy and still does is having to have any kind of the financial part of it. If I could just not think about that part of it, I would be like so happy, because I hate that. I love to just do stuff that I love for that, only for that reason. That's it. I love it and I want to do it. But I've come to realize that the asking for your money and how much you want to be paid for something, whether it's for a painting or if you are making a film for somebody or a video project, being able to set your price. I never really got this until kind of recently, which I'm kind of ashamed to say, but asking for what you're worth in money, putting it in money, is like a whole other part of, I think, the full spiritual development of you as an artist. I mean, it's amazing when you start to put out there what you feel like you are worth, what your art is worth, and what your skill is worth, and whatever it is that you bring to the project is worth. Your taste, your artistic taste, because that's ultimately what you're being paid for. And when you are asking for money for that, when you're asking for what you believe you're worth, and what you believe your art is worth, and what you are bringing to the table, what your contribution is worth, it transforms you as an artist. I'm telling you, and as a person. So I want to encourage you to do this. I want to encourage you to go down that road, figure out the business end of what you love, because you will not regret it. It is like, oh my God, it was the most terrifying. I'd wake up like in a cold sweat, like, why did I ask for that much money? What was I thinking? And then it was just crazy. And then I just had my friends say, don't call them, don't email them, just wait, don't do anything, and it's ridiculous. I look back now and think, oh my God, I can't believe I was freaking out about that. And everybody loved it. They were totally happy with the project. I mean, so it's a weird thing that happens, and it's something we all have to go through. I'm so grateful I went through it, and I want to hold your hand and bring you across, because oh my God, the grass is so much greener over here, let me tell you. It's greener because you can afford fertilizer, okay? So I look forward to exploring these topics with you in this podcast. Sometimes I'm going to get serious. Sometimes we're going to have fun. Just like life, it's going to be kind of all over the map, but it will be about dreams. I look forward to getting to know you guys on the Instagram page. I Have Dreams Dammit. Send any questions you have or any show ideas. I read all of the direct messages and comments personally, and I will try to reply to everyone. Be sure to visit IHaveDreamsDammit.com for show notes, to sign up for the email list, and for the link to join the I Have Dreams Dammit Facebook group. Big shout out to Dapo Torimiro for providing the I Have Dreams Dammit podcast music. I love it. When I want to get deep, he's got the chill music. When I want to dance, he's got the dance music. Thank you so much, Dapo. And I will have Dapo's links in the show notes on the website. Hope you have a great week, and I will see you next time. Like Casey Kasem used to say, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. See you later, guys.